Hi everybody, it's Agnes, Vivarelli, and I've got an interview today with Kristin. She's in Europe and she has said she would come and share her success story with us. And she's kindly put some time aside today on this Saturday in May 2018 to share her story. So welcome, Kristin. Thank you for coming.
Yes, that's fine. I'm happy to be here too.
That's good. That's good. Well, you and I have had some contact and you have got a success story to share with the viewers. So do you want to start saying a little bit about the background of what was happening before everything went wrong, and then what you did, and then how you got to have a success? Do you want to start at the beginning?
Yes, of course. So I met my person. It was actually 1 year ago in May. And yeah, we started dating and it was really fine. I was in a really good place. I was really confident. I was relaxed, like really in a very good energy. And of course, my person noticed that. And yeah, he fell in love with me directly. And it was really a wonderful time. We had so great dates. He took me out on wonderful dates. He put so much effort into me. And I just loved his energy. This my guy is like, he's the person who doesn't take energetically. So you really feel it if a person loves you openly or if they just want to take and want to be in a relationship just to be loved. And my person was really different to other men I met before because it was really open, and that was so nice. And we got together on the 25th June last year, so almost a year ago. And in the beginning, it was all fine. I was still like really feeling good and confident. But at some point, I think it was like eight weeks after we got together, I started to become really needy. I started to really feel like fixated on him. I he really triggered something in me whenever he said something, for example, about his ex-girlfriends. I would basically freak out and think like the worst. Like, for example, he told me that he was cheated on in the past, and he told me that because he trusted me, and he didn't do it to say that his ex-girlfriends were more important to him. He did it because he trusted me. But at that time, I started to feel like, oh, he loves his ex-girlfriends more than he does love me. And I really interpreted it in a really wrong way because I really felt unimportant to him. And it was really irrational. He always treated me really nicely and he put so much effort into me. And it was just because I started to drop, basically. I really became needy, I became insecure, and I wanted him to take care of me so that I can feel better. And of course that does not work. And then the next thing that happened is that I started making fights with him that were also really irrational. For example, when he wouldn't text me in a day, then I would really get really angry, and then I would really blame him via text, which is something you should never do. Really, not via WhatsApp. It's no good. It's not good. And my person is the person who's really sensitive when it comes to blaming, because he had that issue in the past. He always got blamed from his family and his ex-girlfriends, and so he fought always back. And I became needy, I became frustrated, and I always wanted him to make me happy. And in the end, then he broke up with me. And it was really logical because I was in a bad place. I wasn't the person anymore that I've been when we met. And in December last year, he broke up with me.
Okay.
Yes. So that's like the story of how we met and till we like separated.
Okay, so that brings us up to December 2017.
Yes.
Yeah, and was that before Christmas or before Christmas?
Yes, sadly. It was
Ah,
yeah, it was like the beginning of December and end of November, like in between.
yeah,
And of course, I was devastated. And it's not that I didn't see it coming. I saw it coming basically because I knew I messed up a lot because I was always the one who started fighting, and I knew this was a projection of me, and it has nothing to do with him
mm,
because he couldn't act any other way because I always projected stuff to him like, I'm not important to you, you don't
yeah,
give me enough, you don't take care of me, you're my boyfriend, you're supposed to do this and that. I
yeah,
really have these or I'd rather say I had these beliefs that I think they're coming from these Disney movies. I
yeah,
thought about it because these Disney movies, when you look at as a child, then you have this picture of the man always taking care of the woman and the
yeah,
woman just leaning back, and the man is supposed to make the woman happy, and that's just his job.
yeah,
And I had these really limiting beliefs that a man has to do certain things or he doesn't love the women. So it really was fixed in my head. And that's
yes,
why I always fought with him because I just thought he doesn't love me because he, for example, he didn't bring me flowers or something like that. And that really
yeah,
destroyed basically everything. And
yeah,
I focused only on the things he doesn't do and really completely ignored all the things he did for me. And that were many things. He really did many things to show that he loves me, and I just ignored that. And
yeah,
of course, he had to break up with me because, yeah, it's a focus-based universe. It's just
yeah,
how it works.
yeah,
Couldn't work any other way.
yeah. So when did you start you like getting on YouTube looking for answers? When did you start learning about all this stuff?
Oh, it's actually really interesting because he's not the first person I attracted back, actually. I attracted another boyfriend intentionally back. That was before I got together with him. And so I'm into this relationship thing for maybe 1 or 2 years, I think. One
Okay.
and a half or 2 years. So um, I knew about the mechanics, but at that time when I was with my person, I just um, couldn't really I just acted like really differently. I couldn't help it basically.
Yeah.
But I knew that I did this and I attracted this, so I really took responsibility for this, and I learned a lot, and I'm really grateful for that. So
Yes,
where
excellent.
we know.
Yeah, but it's that's the thing, Kristin, isn't it? It's like we learn it, but
Yes,
it's the applying it in a relationship that you really see the change is when you don't just
yes,
read or listen to YouTubes, you actually really start to apply it, especially when you've lost somebody and then you're like, well, hang on, what, what's going on? What have I done? What's he done? Or what's she done? Or whatever. Then you start looking at yourself. That's when you start getting your power back.
yes, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So take us, okay, what happened after the beginning of December till January? What did you start to do in that month?
Well, I have to be honest. And the first 3 weeks, I was really in a depression,
Yeah.
and it was really hard for me. And I knew the mechanics and I knew everything I have to do.
Yeah.
And the first 3 weeks, I was really not feeling good. I tried to pull myself out of it, of course, but I was really like depressed because I lost my person and it wasn't really easy for me, but I did my best, of course.
Yeah.
And what I did is I completely ignored the fact that he said, I don't have feelings for you anymore. Well, when he broke up with me, he said his feelings have changed and he has to break up with me. And
Yeah.
um, what I did, I just ignored the thoughts, for example, that he maybe has someone new, or
Mm.
I didn't focus on him that much. I didn't focus on fear of that he's with another person or that he will never come back. I just ignored that. And I knew deep down that like we are meant, if one can say that. But I just knew we would be back together, and that is my responsibility. And I really took 100% responsibility, and I tried to focus on myself. And I didn't even think about what he's doing or how he's feeling. I didn't text him.
Yeah.
I didn't reach out to him, and I really tried to, yeah, love myself more. I did lots of self-love meditations in general.
Yes.
And yeah, that's really important. If I learned one thing, it's really focusing on yourself and not on the other person, and not obsessing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what really helped me is whenever I felt like really this deep hurt and depression and this feeling I want to be with him and then I will feel better, I really said to myself, I surrender, I let go, and the love is not over there. I think that's something that you say all the time. And
Yeah.
that really helped me because it made me realize that he's not the answer to my happiness, that
Yeah.
I really have to take care of myself, because otherwise the same thing will start over again, that I want him to make me happy. And
Yeah.
yeah, you can definitely feel that.
Mm.
And another thing that I did, I think it's a Neville Goddard like technique. It's a technique where you imagine the person like standing in front of you and telling you something you want to hear. In
Yeah.
my case, I imagined him saying, I love you, I miss you so much, I really want to be with you. And basically then you feel the emotion, this happiness that the person said this, and basically that gets projected to the person in your
Mm.
imagination.
Mm-hmm.
So it really changes the energy from like desperation or neediness to just sending love. I think
Yeah.
it's something similar to
Yes.
sending love, just that you imagine them saying that they love you.
Yeah.
And I did that, and I really tried to just let him be, that
Mm.
I love him, but he can still choose to do whatever he wants. I never wanted to pressure him to come back to me. That's not what I intended.
Yeah.
And what also helped me is writing like gratitude letters. Like I didn't send him those letters, I just wrote it to myself. I
Mm.
wrote down like everything he did for me in the relationship, because in the relationship I never really appreciated what he did for me. I only focused on what he did like wrong or what he didn't do.
Yeah.
And that really changed my vibration, because then I really felt this gratitude for what he did for me. And it's a really nice feeling that helped me really.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like you stop trying to get and you
Yes,
your energy goes into giving love rather than trying to get love, and it changes everything.
that's so important. That
It
was
is.
something I really definitely needed to practice, because
Yeah.
I've always been a person who I wouldn't say, it's almost a little bit arrogant, that I really want a man to treat me like a princess and stuff, and he has to do everything, and I just lean back and do nothing.
Yeah.
And I really had to learn that I have to give love. And
Yeah.
I think many women struggle with that, actually, because we tend
Yeah.
to be like really offensive. And
Yes.
um, it's sometimes I struggled with that a lot. I had really these anger attacks. Like
Yeah.
I was really angry at him, and for example, he broke up with me via WhatsApp. He didn't even
Yeah.
talk to me in person, and then he blocked me everywhere.
Yeah.
And so I stood there and I couldn't understand it. He just blocked me everywhere, and I didn't even text him. I didn't bother him, and he blocked me everywhere. I couldn't
Yeah.
see anything, what he's doing, nothing.
Mm.
And of course, I was angry at times, and really terribly angry. And at
Yeah.
one point, I have to say, because I just want to make clear that nobody's perfect, and I'm neither. And at one point, it was a really weird incident. It was on Facebook. I wasn't blocked on Facebook. It was the only platform I wasn't blocked. And I swear I didn't do anything, but accidentally a call was sent from my Facebook account to his, but I didn't do anything. It just happened. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I think it was like 4 weeks after the breakup. I think it was on the beginning of January, and he was really pissed. He was like, "Why do you call me? You're playing games again." leave me alone. I don't want to hear from you. And but
Oh,
I didn't let it drag me down, not at all. I really ignored that. I just kept going with my sending love, with focusing on myself. And I didn't let that bother me, because sometimes like these obstacles will come, but people can change their mind when you change.
yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So in my case, it was really like some people would call a hopeless case, because he blocked me, he didn't want to
Yeah,
see me. He
yeah,
was sometimes even nasty to me,
yeah,
and
yeah.
he was really angry. And so after he was like, he sent this, yeah, why you playing games and stuff, and that, of course, I got angry again. And at that point, sadly, I wasn't able to control my anger, and I really fought back. I sent him a message. Really, I did again everything wrong. I sent him a message where I told him, you never loved me. You are the one who used me. And of course, then he blocked me on Facebook as well. But
Okay.
the funny thing is, he told me that he never want to see me again, that he's so white, that I didn't change and stuff. But on the end of January, he reached out to me, and he sent me a SMS. It's called, what's it called in English?
Yes,
Like
SMS. Yeah.
SMS. Okay, yeah, because I was blocked everywhere, but he reached out to me on the end of January. And that's a really nice story, because at that day, it was the first day I really felt at peace. I even sat in my car and did like a video for myself, because I sometimes do that, so
Yeah.
that I just record my feelings and how I feel.
Yeah.
And I made a video in my car of myself where I said that I'm feeling better. I'm not in a depression anymore. And I still loved him, but it was okay. I was content with my life. I focused on my studies. I focused on my friends, on things that I love. I love meditating, for example. And I really said to myself, it's okay. I know we will be back together, but it's okay now. He can text me whenever he wants, but I don't need it right now.
Yeah.
And when I was home, it was an hour later, I looked at my phone and I got, yeah, an SMS from my person where he said that, yeah, it was really nice, because his tone was friendly, and he said that, yeah, things were going on in his life, like his grandfather died, and yeah, he went really personal. And then he said that he actually said that I could pick my stuff up from his flat, but that it's up to me whether I come and when. And I was confused at this time, because I didn't know if he just wanted stuff back or if he wanted to see me.
Yeah.
But actually, he wanted to see me. He really missed me, and we met up. I think it was a week later, and then he came around, and it was really nice, because it was a storm in Germany, and he wanted to see me, and he really drove in the snowstorm to me. And yeah, then he said that he really missed me, and that he loves me, and that it's not over yet. And yeah, that was really a nice moment.
Wow. So what did you
Yes.
do? Because people will want to know this question. What did you do between December and the end of January when he contacted you? What were you doing for yourself?
Yes, of course, that I can answer. I did lots of self-love meditations. That was my number one goal. My
Yeah.
number one goal was to feel okay without him,
Yeah.
because obviously my my world was crashing down. I couldn't imagine myself with anyone else. But I knew if I want him back, then I have to put in the work. It doesn't work any other way. And yeah, so I meditated a lot, like sometimes really 2 hours straight, because I was feeling really down, and this helped me. It made me feel at peace. And
Mm,
I love these self-love meditations,
mm,
because yeah, it's really nice feeling, and I really went into it.
beautiful.
Also, I focused on my studies. I'm studying
Yeah.
right now, so I had work to do for my studies. I love university, and I enjoyed that. And I met up with friends, um, spent time with my family. I worked out. and I really worked on feeling like more independent. I didn't want to feel like I'm dependent on him, even though I love him, obviously.
Yeah.
So the most important thing was really surrendering, and also I did the whole Ho'oponopono, or
Yeah.
whatever it's called,
Yeah.
meditation to
Yeah.
really take responsibility for what I created. And it's really important because I, yeah, sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes even for me, it's really like that I don't want to take responsibility, and I just think, well, he's such a jerk. Why is he doing this to
Yeah.
me? And
Yeah.
this happens, of course, but
Mm.
I really learned that's really important. I was in my whole relationships, not only with him, I'm extremely impulsive. And when I'm angry, I directly text or call the person and let out my anger.
Yeah.
And yeah, that really destroyed my relationship with
Mm.
my person, because yeah, of course he got frustrated because I was always blaming him for stuff that was really irrational.
Yeah.
And so I really learned to control my anger and just meditate. And in most cases, my anger like vanished after the
Yeah.
meditation.
Yeah.
And when I look back at my relationship, I always regretted, yeah, blaming him, or
Yeah.
yeah, being this angry at him. And it's really embarrassing for me even. And I really learned that to be more grounded. And I never did that to my person after that. And he really noticed that I changed.
Wow. Kristin, can I ask how old you are?
I'm 20.
You're 20.
Yes.
Oh my God. What? Honestly, you've learned this, you've got this for the rest of your life. How amazing.
Yeah.
It's a lesson you never forget. You never forget this
Yes.
stuff. That is brilliant. Brilliant.
Yes. I'm really grateful for that, because I
Yeah.
think people who don't know about law of attraction and this mechanics, they will basically never learn it in their lives, and they always wonder, why
Yeah.
is this always happening to me?
Yes.
Why can't I get a man who treats me right and stuff?
Yeah.
So
And the thing is, it
yeah.
doesn't matter whether you're 20 or 30 or 40 or 50, people still do the
Yes.
same thing. Because if you don't learn
Yes.
it, you really think you're right. Like you say, you get angry and you don't love me enough, and you get this selfish sort of hands on your hips, I'm not getting what I need and I'm not
Yes.
getting what I deserve. And you don't realize how you're so far away from what you should be doing, like so far away from getting what you want. If you're doing that, you're never going to get what you want. You just never do. So
Yes. That's so
yeah,
true. And
yeah,
I'm really guilty of that. In the past, I always had that, and I really noticed it when it happened the same time. The exact same things happened to me. With my former boyfriend, I attracted him back. I can also talk about that too, if you want, because I attracted like two exes back intentionally.
yeah. Can you tell me, to finish this story, okay, so you had
Yeah,
that,
of course.
you went to go and get your stuff at your specific person's house, and then you realized he wanted to see you, and then all that happened where you started to get back together. So did you talk about, did you actually say, look, I did all that wrong, I've learned this, really sorry, I don't want to blame you? I mean, did you have that kind of conversation with him?
Yes. When so I didn't pick the stuff up. He came to me actually,
Yes.
and he visited me.
Yep.
So, and I was really happy, and yeah, I was really excited to see him again. And I told him that I
That was
worked
the
on
night,
myself.
that was the night of the snowstorm you're talking about,
Yeah,
when he was
exactly.
coming to you. Okay. Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
And I told him that I really regret my behavior, and yeah, he was really happy that I saw that.
And
But
understood it. Yeah.
yes, but apart from that, we didn't talk about it anymore. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really worked on myself.
Yeah.
But I really want to say that I think the hardest part actually begins when you're back together. I think
Yep.
attracting back is one thing, but
Yeah.
the relationship is really also something that it's really hard work for me, basically. It was because um, I had this so strong in the past, this I want to take and I don't give.
Yes.
And of course, I had to work on that because he was back, and it wasn't that everything was like totally fine again. He was still like a little bit cautious because
Yeah.
he loved me, but he was cautious, and I had to
Mm.
really calm down, and I had to really work on not trying to demand from him again to do whatever.
Yeah.
So
Let
that was
him.
definitely something I
Mm.
had to work on. And yes,
Yeah. And is it still like that, or is he slowly starting to let the guard down?
are you still there?
Yeah. Yeah. Did you lose me?
No, I can hear you, but
Yeah.
there was like some seconds where
Yeah.
it stopped.
Okay. All I said was, is he now letting that guard down and letting you in more? Is it getting easier?
Well, I have to say, I don't want to discourage your viewers in any ways because we had like, we were back together, and I was like, I really I couldn't believe that he really means it with me.
Yes.
And that's why I attracted like really contradictory behavior from him.
Yeah.
And I was like really, I had fear. I didn't even, I couldn't contact him because I feared that I would bother him and stuff. And I was like still
Mm.
really insecure.
Yes.
And we met and we had like wonderful encounters and stuff. But at some point, I suddenly started to fear that he would use me just for like something casual and stuff. And I didn't really know if he really means it with me. And it was all in my head. He considered us as a couple all of the time.
Yeah.
And that was just all in my head, that I feared that I would be used for something just sexual.
Yeah.
And I had this fear in my mind, and it got more intense and more intense and more intense. And at some point, I think it was in March this year, so 2 months after our first meeting, that he suddenly started to just text like really sexual and really, yeah, not really nice text
Yeah.
messages.
Yeah.
And that was because I feared that he would only use me. And then I told him, you know, I love you and I don't want something that goes in that sexual direction.
Yeah.
And he answered really according to my fear. He said, well, it is so nice, it's really casual. I like that. It works way better than a really relationship. And yeah, that crushed me, of course.
Yeah.
But one day later, I really took responsibility. Of course, I told him my boundaries. I said, I don't want this. And again, he said, okay, that's fine with me. I pick my stuff up on your flat, and I
Yeah.
respect that you don't want something sexual. And it was on Easter. He came back to me, and I was confused. I didn't know what he wants. Just wanted to come over and meet me. And I worked on that time. I worked on myself, and I was really feeling good again.
Yeah.
And it was really nice because he came over, and he even he brought a present for me, and he was really happy to see me. And I again told him I don't want something like casual, and that he can go if he
Yeah.
only wants something casual.
Yeah.
And then he said that he would love to be in a relationship with me, and that he thought that I don't want something serious.
Oh.
And yeah, so yeah, it's really interesting how people really act towards you, how you think about them, because
Yeah.
he always wanted a serious relationship. And he said to me he likes it casual because I had that fear and I projected that to him, but he never really meant it. It's really interesting.
It is,
And
isn't it? It really
yes,
is.
and then suddenly he changed his mind and said, yes, I want a relationship with you. I really want to be in a relationship with you. So yeah, that was nice. And we had a really nice encounter, and that was really nice. But
What
it's really funny
amazing.
because,
Amazing. And you know
yeah,
what's great? You can see it because you've done all this law of attraction work. You can see
yes,
what he does, what you're projecting. You can connect it all together. I think that's so good to be able to do that.
yeah, and it's really almost funny
Hmm.
because the story goes on actually. um, Even though he said that he wants a relationship with me, he even brought a present. He drove. He lives 40 kilometers away from me. I think that doesn't sound like much, but if you have to drive 80 kilometers to see a person,
Yeah.
it's still an effort.
Yes.
So he put effort into me, brought a present. He was really nice to me, was interested in me. Everything was really nice.
Yeah.
And I still didn't believe him. I still didn't believe that he wanted something serious again with me. And I don't even know why. I just couldn't believe him.
Yeah.
And so we had some really bumpy time again because I didn't text him. And somehow I attracted him being angry at me because I don't text him. And yeah, that's why we still, like, right now we're not like really in contact. I'm still working on that though, but I really know it's my projection, and it's really my work to do. But
Yeah.
I'm 100% confident that we will be back in a really loving relationship again. But sometimes that just takes work and time, and I don't want to pressure him. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so I need to work on that still.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important that your viewers also know that sometimes things can take a little bit longer, and it definitely is work. But if you really love the person and you love yourself enough to let the person be, then
Yes.
there's a really high chance that the person comes back, because
Yeah.
the person feels basically if you are needy, and the person feels if you are giving love. Person can
Absolutely.
feel it somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's I don't really know if the person feels the moment when we send love to them. I don't know that for sure, but I know for a fact that if I wouldn't have done the work, my person would have never contacted me again, because there was just no reason. Why would he contact me again? I messed up
Yeah.
badly in the relationship. I blamed him all the time.
Mm.
And if I didn't do anything and I just blamed
Mm.
him and didn't work on that, he would have never come back, I'm sure for that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait
Yeah.
a minute. Someone interrupted me. I don't have time right now. I'm in conference. No, sorry. I'm in conference right now. No, sorry. I don't have time. Sorry. Sorry, I was interrupted.
No, no, no. See, there's an example of someone who does not understand the law of attraction and keeps trying to push to get what they want.
Oh, did you hear the conversation
No, I
between
couldn't
the
hear.
woman
No,
and...
I just could hear you saying, "No, I'm in a conference right now. No, I'm in a conference right now." And she wasn't listening to you. She just wanted to get what she wanted to get.
Yes. Yeah, it was actually a woman. I don't know. She just wanted to sell me something, and yeah.
You should say to her, "Look, look, look. When you push, you're not going to sell anything. Go and study the law of attraction."
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, there's an example of what not to do. That doesn't work because you didn't want it. So it didn't work.
Yes, it's really
Oh,
funny.
yeah, it's a good example of people trying to get what they want and they're not attracting it. They're pushing and trying to take and trying to get. That very example of that is why that is just someone trying to sell you something. But the same principles apply in a relationship. That's what
Yeah.
we do to our partners what that woman just tried to do to you. It's a good
Yes.
example. It's a good
Yes,
example.
definitely.
Yeah, it's a good lesson to
Yes.
remember.
Yes. I'm really
Oh,
grateful that I learned this like at this young age, because
yeah.
um yeah, it's really important, because otherwise I would like, yeah, destroy every
Mm,
relationship.
yeah.
And really it's a pattern for me. I have really good beliefs about men in general. I'm really good at attracting men for a relationship. So I have really good beliefs around that. And in the beginning, they are always find me really nice and really open and loving. And as soon as I get to the point where I just feel like, oh, the person doesn't give me enough,
Yeah.
then that completely changes and the person just wants to get away from me. And I really
Yep.
noticed that the second time in a row, and I just noticed, okay, here's really a pattern because yeah, I had these really Disney movie kind of beliefs that as soon as I'm in a relationship, the man has really to take care of me. And the
Yep.
reason why in the beginning they feel like I'm really open is because when I'm not committed to a person, I'm really relaxed. I just don't demand anything because
Yep.
we're not committed, and I really don't need it. But
Mm.
as soon as I'm committed, I really always started to really demand, and I wanted, yeah, it just was like kind of a little bit arrogant and thought like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really committed and the person has to do things for me, and
Yeah.
why don't they do this?
Mm.
I
Mm.
deserve better and stuff.
Yeah.
And
And you know,
yeah,
Kristin, because I'm European too. I was born in France and I'm part Italian. I do think it's partly cultural. It's a European thing too, to be, we get angry easily. There is an arrogance and a selfishness that's part of our European culture that I have found that when I've been with men in relationship, it's not accepted. It's not been accepted because the rest of the world, some people's cultures do not accept that being angry. They don't accept people being that demanding, being that selfish and all that stuff. I'm not saying other cultures don't do it too, but it is very European to be very
yeah,
explosive and dramatic and very expressive with your anger and all that stuff. That's very European. Um, so
yes, I think so too.
yeah, because I found in Australia, I've had to calm myself down. Like I can't do that here. I can't be like that here because Australia is very much like the English. They keep things in. They're very much more private. They don't yell and scream in the street and get all dramatic. That does not happen here. So it's like I've had to really turn that down. Over the years, I thought, oh my God, I'm starting to look like a crazy person. When I'm in Europe, I look totally normal, but when I'm here, I look a bit woo. So yeah, it's interesting you saying that, and what's interesting is you saying it coming from the Disney movies because it is what we grow up on. It is what we watched on TV.
You right now?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, the Disney movies do affect what we learn as children. Definitely. I've never thought about it quite specifically like that as you've described it, but yeah, we grew up on Walt Disney movies. We grew up on cartoons and stuff with Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella and all that princess stuff. It does get in there and it creates some kind of expectation. It does. You there, Kristin? Looks like I've lost you. Yes, so for those of you listening, there is such a learning curve with this, as you can hear with Kristin when she comes back into this call. It is such a learning curve to be able to learn the self-love.
And yeah,
Yes, Kristin, you're back in. I was just talking while to fill in time. Yep, you're back in.
my internet crashed down, I think.
Yeah, that's okay. No problem.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yep. Yeah, can
I
you
hope
hear?
this will work.
Yeah. So do you want to share anything else about manifesting in relationship?
So
Yeah, the Wi-Fi is not good at your end, I don't think.
yes, so yeah, I really um asked myself where I got these beliefs from,
Yeah.
like that. Especially my mother.
Yes.
She always told something like, why do you even care if he doesn't call you like 3 times a day, or if he doesn't do this and that, he doesn't love you, and you should find someone who treats you better, and stuff like that. She always told me
Yeah. Yeah, and that doesn't help.
it just destroys everything, and that really doesn't help.
No.
And I attracted another ex-boyfriend back. It was before I met my person.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did the exact same things. I just let him be and focused on myself. And it was actually the thing that I sent you. There was one success story from
Yeah.
me that I sent you last year.
Yeah.
Maybe you can remember.
You're dropping out a bit, Kristin. It's a bit hard to hear you. The Wi-Fi is dropping out.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's dropping out. So we might have to stop the interview. But Kristin, I want to say
Well,
thank you.
that's really
Yeah, I want to,
sad.
huh? Yeah, we will we'll close off the session. But thank you very much for coming, Kristin. And thank you for coming to share your story.
Yeah,
Are you able to answer
really
questions?
happy to talk to you.
Yeah. Are you happy to answer questions on the YouTube thread?
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
I would love to.
Okay. Do you want to add your email in, or would you prefer to answer the questions in the thread? Okay.
Yes, I can do that. I hope you can hear me.
Yes,
And
I can hear you now. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That'd be great. That would be great.
maybe we can talk.
Okay. I'm going to shut down the meeting because it's cutting out, and then I'll see if I can still talk to you. Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming to share on this YouTube today with Kristin.